guys, guess what? We're on episode 100 of Coffee Combos. Lindsay, how are you?
I am not that energy level this morning, but we are here, 100 episodes. I'm amazed.
Is that 100 weeks? That's definitely 2 years.
Kail, I'm literally amazed.
Same. So much same.
The fact that we kept up with something for 100 weeks.
We were committed. We've been committed.
Kail. We were committed.
It takes a lot, honestly. And to like coordinate our schedules and get along all the time.
I know.
You know?
It really takes a lot. It's very emotionally draining sometimes and mentally draining sometimes. I think too, like whenever you're talking about real life stuff, it can also be emotionally draining because like you know that you want to be honest with the listener and you want to be able to share your story because you hope it helps somebody. But then at the same time, it's like reliving it again. And then you realize that you've recorded it. So then whenever people start hearing it, then you start getting the messages about it. So it's like reliving it 3 times by the time they hear it because you lived it, you recorded it, and then you rehear it again. Same thing with reality TV. So
speaking of that, we've been getting a shit ton of messages complaining about my dog. And there are some people who are like, it's fine because they love puppies. And then there's other people who really are annoyed by it. And I'm sorry. If I had another suggestion or solution to my dog playing and barking and all of that, I would definitely do it. I did put her in her crate for this episode so that hopefully she doesn't cry or bother anyone.
Well, how many weeks is she?
She's 13 weeks.
Right. So that would kind of be like expecting a 13-week-old baby not to make a noise for like an hour and a half.
Yeah. So I'm so sorry. I don't know. Maybe I'll hire a dog walker and they can take the dog for a walk while I podcast for an hour.
Kail, that's like a whole nother element of like things to arrange.
That would be a whole nother bill. Yeah.
And I just don't think that that's in the cards. Like I really don't.
No, it's not. But if it'll make our listeners happy, then I guess I'll consider it.
So what have you been up to? Anything good?
Let's think. No, I haven't been up to anything. I've been up to straight no good. I thought that I was done filming. I thought that last week or the week before that was my last shoot for the season, but I'm filmed all day yesterday and I'm filming again after this podcast. And I'm still working on the house. It's still just coming along, you know?
I feel like our lives, Kail and I were texting the other day, and I don't know if anybody who's listening has ever felt this way, and it's kind of hard to explain, but I'm going to explain it the best I can. Do you ever feel like you have so much going on and nothing going on at the same time?
That's me. That's literally me this entire, well, probably my whole life, but especially lately. I feel like there's so much that I need to do and I need to get done and it's on the to-do list. But then I also feel like, oh my God, there's really nothing going on. And so it's very weird and it's confusing and it kind of puts me in like a weird vibe, like a weird mood because I don't know what I should be doing.
See, I've been feeling that way lately. And I think it's because I have not fully adjusted to the fact that Jackson is not home basically all day.
Right.
So it's been hard for me to get my schedule in order. You know, like, do I wake up? He leaves the house by 7:00 in the morning. So do I wake up and do all of my work around the house and then get dressed and go to the gym? Or do I wake up, get him ready, get him out the door, get dressed for the gym, go to the gym, come back, shower, and then like do my work day? I can't figure that out. So, moms, if you're listening, please help me because I don't know what I'm doing.
Same, so much same. Send all the help we can get. That would be great.
I was thinking the other day, like, how much you learn to get done on like a preschool schedule within a couple of hours. So I feel like I do everything like against the clock, I guess. And then I look up and I'm like, oh, well, I have like 6 more hours before Jackson comes home. And it's like,
yeah. And it's kind of like nice, but also like, what the fuck are you supposed to do?
Yeah. And then I feel like this is at the point where people have like more kids, because then you're like, okay, it's not chaotic enough for me. It's not, everything's like too put together. I don't know. I miss a little bit of the chaos. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. I think you're describing me for sure.
That's weird coming out of my mouth, right?
Yeah, it for sure is.
We both said at the same time.
I think I'm going to open a restaurant.
Kail, shut up.
No, I'm serious.
You're not opening a restaurant. Are you nuts?
I am opening a restaurant. I'm opening a restaurant in Smyrna, Delaware with my friend.
Kail, when did you come up with this idea? This was literally something that
Last week.
Thought of like over one dinner.
No. Okay. So, I have a friend who approached me with this idea, and he was like, okay, so I know him because his son and Isaac go to school together. And so he came to one of the birthday parties. That's how we met. Really cool. His dad is actually like my contractor. So we like don't really, I guess I don't want to call him an acquaintance because I feel like that's like an insult to him. He's my friend, but I don't really like, he's not like a friend that I like hang out with. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So it wouldn't, the reason why I say that is because it wouldn't be like mixing friends with business in that way, because we're not like besties. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So he approached me with this idea, and I'm like, at first I was like, I wouldn't open a restaurant because 1, I can't cook, and 2, restaurants are really hard to open. But this would be like more of like a bodega, like Spanish food restaurant, and his family I think is going to run it. So it's like I'm like the silent partner.
Except not silent now that you told everybody.
Correct.
But yes, I do get what you're saying. You're basically an investor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. But I'm still going to call it my restaurant because I feel like that would look good on a resume.
Right. But Kail will have never been in the kitchen. She will have never cooked. She will have only been there for dinner.
Anyway, I have a meeting for that at 2:00 today. So they're going to film me go have the meeting at 2:00
Kail,
for this restaurant.
I can't even like.
And then we're going to open, I think the next thing we're going to open is that nail place, right?
No, Kail, all of these businesses are not happening. Like, we can't be connoisseurs of all of these businesses. Like, we can't be professional podcasters. I wouldn't consider us professional by any means, but we can't be podcasters and hair care owners and nail salon connoisseurs and restaurateurs or whatever they call them.
Why not?
That's not a thing. People...
Why?
You have to, like, be good at one thing. I don't think that you... Maybe...
You perfect the craft of one, and then you move on to the next.
I mean,
so,
maybe...
like, we've committed to podcasting for 2 years, and we have not stopped, and we're not stopping anytime soon, right? So, like, we are committed, and we have
But,
this.
Kail...
Then I started
What
Pothead.
Pothead is fine because that's like a business that's a product, you know? So it's different.
Right.
Not that it doesn't take work, but it's different because it's a product. Like, you have a solid product. So
Right.
That's one thing. But talking about a restaurant and a nail salon, are you out of your mind? Like...
A little bit. I'm just saying that we could literally just keep it on our radar for the future. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I definitely think there's a need for a nail salon, and I've thought of like a million different, I've even like researched like types of chairs and like weird things as if I was opening it tomorrow, because that's super important for me to know what type of model chair that we're going to have in this invisible nail salon. But
It's imaginary.
yeah, imaginary. But yeah, you know, we should maybe like consider it. But then you also consider doing like a blow dry bar and like all this stuff.
Yes, I had a whole business plan written for that, like a 30-something, 40-page business plan for that.
Yeah. Kail, let me know how your meeting goes at your restaurant.
I will. Thank you.
All right, guys. If you run your own business, you're used to doing it all. But if you're struggling to get through your to-do list, HoneyBook can help.
HoneyBook makes it simple to run your business better. Professional templates, e-signatures, and built-in automation keeps everything on track and makes you look good.
They can even consolidate services you already use like QuickBooks, Google Suite, Excel, MailChimp, Gmail, which is super convenient for small business owners.
You can save time and do more of what you love with HoneyBook. I love it because I do run multiple businesses and opening a new one, so it makes things easier for me to just keep everything consolidated instead of using 10 different apps to try to run my businesses.
Right now, HoneyBook is offering our listeners 50% off your first year with promo code COFFEE. Payment is flexible, and this promotion applies whether you pay monthly or annually.
Go to honeybook.com and use promo code COFFEE for 50% off your first year. That's honeybook.com, promo code COFFEE. There's a lot of things that we need to discuss today, and I need you to know that.
Okay, well, what is it? Is it anything?
Okay, there's new revelations, I guess is the word. New details have emerged about the Chris Watts story and the Chris Watts case. So that's one. And then the second one that I was going to mention was...
Well, let's take it step by step. So
okay,
let's go with the Chris Watts.
Okay. So I sent an article that I got from Kristen. You guys all know who Kristen is now. She was on the podcast. She sent me this article, which I then forwarded to Lindsay, about the Chris Watts who murdered his pregnant wife and 2 daughters. He is telling an author his story so that she can write a book on it. And in the interviews that she's been having with him, he actually told the author that he killed his daughters twice, essentially. And he had actually been trying to get his wife to miscarry prior to murdering her. And it was not a fit of rage, which he had previously claimed before. He thought that he could convince us that he, killed them in a fit of rage. But really, he had been plotting it for a long time. So I guess after he attempted to kill his daughters, he proceeded to then go kill his wife. And his daughters woke up. And he says he doesn't know how, but they did. And, what's going on with mom? And I just have a lot of questions. I guess he said that they would have prevented him from being with his mistress. But I want to know how murdering people would then allow him to be with his mistress. And what the fuck the train of thought is there.
I have a lot of thoughts on it because, first of all, if your mistress is so good that you would just like up and leave everything that you have created, I feel like at that point he would overly owe it to his wife to be like, hey, I'm having these crazy thoughts. I want to be with whatever her name is. And it's making me feel like I'm trapped in this situation and I can't get out. And it's making me have these really like crazy, disturbing thoughts and ideas. I feel like at that point, she would have been like, okay, you're a whack job and you need to remove yourself from the home. And then he could have gone off and lived happily ever after with whomever. But
I mean, we definitely all know somebody who has up and left their family before, right? Like, I know a lot of people, both men and women, who have truly just left their children with their significant other at the time and go off and live their own life. So if that was the route that he wanted to go, if he wanted them to be gone so that he could go be with the mistress, why not divorce them and get a custody order? Because at that point you would be able to have access to your children and be able to share, a life with your children to some degree. Or B, just up and fucking leave them at that point. Like, just leave them.
Well, what was...
And I also want to know what kind of woman was the mistress, because now in the article it says that she's living in another state and she's in the witness protection program. I want to know, did she know he had a family, and did she have a family of her own? And what would have happened when that relationship goes south? Would you just kill her then, or would you move on? Or because he claims he's not a threat to society, he was only a threat to his own family.
Okay, no,
You
become a threat to society when you
kill somebody else.
When you exhibit the type of behaviors that he has. If you can do it to your own family, you could do it to anybody. That's just the facts.
I agree.
So what was disturbing? The whole thing was disturbing to me, but when I was reading it, because you were like, read it in its entirety. And so, I was reading the entire thing, and it was pretty lengthy. What disturbed me the most was the fact that he went to kill the girls first, and then they were not dead. And then he was able to, it almost would make you think in your mind, like, I guess you try to put yourself in the mind of this person, but obviously, like, you can't, because you know that you would never be in a situation like this person. But it made me, like, want to be in his head and be like, okay, I am in a bedroom killing my wife, and my girls come in, which I thought were dead. Would that not have been
he said
red flag?
Right. Well, and he says that, though. He says that, that he thinks that this was God telling him, as his daughters wake up from what he thought he killed them. And then he said that he's ignoring another flag, I guess, another sign that he should stop what he's doing. But then he said that he was basically infuriated by the fact that they're still up and moving. His kids were up and walking around and confused. And he said that his oldest...
if they had, like, any brain damage or anything from, like, lack of oxygen that would have been going to their brain during the time of him smothering them. Like, did they pass out and then they woke back up, and because they passed out, that's why he thought they were dead?
Yeah, that's what my thought was. But just, like, reading the whole article, I was just like, he's so casual about it and doesn't feel like he shows any remorse. Like, I want to pick his brain. Like, I want to know why he thought killing them was a better solution than just up and leaving them. Like, I remember when I was with Javi and I didn't want to be with him anymore, and we would fight all the time. I would literally tell him, when you're at work, I'm going to pack all my stuff up and I'm going to go back home. I never would have thought to do, like, anything to hurt him. Do you know what I'm saying? It was more like, I'm going to pack my stuff and be gone than to, you know what I mean?
Well, because that's
so
like,
if you feel that's like a logical way.
A logical thought process, I think. Like, that's very, but obviously this man, I don't know, maybe it was like an internal guilt. Like, he knew what he was doing was wrong, and so he didn't want to have to live with those demons of doing something wrong. So maybe he thought, like, by killing them, it eliminates them. So then he's not, I don't know. Like, it's literally so psychotic that you can't even really wrap your head around, or when you try to reason, there's like no reason. It's literally whack.
I can't.
But in other news, if you guys want to read that, what was it? Like, what can they Google?
Letters from Christopher.
Okay. Google letters from Christopher Watts on Google, and I'm sure the articles will pop up. I'm sure there's various ones, but you can read more on it and what we read. Super sad. All right, mamas, I don't know if you're like me, but continually trying to come up with fun ideas for your kids can be very, very challenging. Coloring books and paintings only last so long as your kids start getting older and learning more.
Our kids are the future, and it's our job to prepare them for that. But it's a lot easier when you can make it fun, and that's why we love KiwiCo boxes for kids. You can empower them to be creative, confident, and fearless in all their endeavors with KiwiCo's innovative projects. I love them because, one, they keep my kids very busy, and they're all so different and so new to my kids that every single one's exciting. But also, they make really good gifts. So if you're not a mom or a dad, you're a grandparent, godmother, aunt or uncle, these make perfect gifts.
KiwiCo creates super cool hands-on projects for kids to make learning about STEAM fun. STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, art, and math.
Each box comes with all the supplies needed for that month's projects. Detailed, easy-to-follow instructions written for kids, which I can attest to because my kids have done them, and an educational magazine to learn even more about that crate's theme.
KiwiCo is a convenient, affordable way to encourage children to be anything that they want to be. There's no commitment. You can cancel at any time. Monthly options start at $19.95 a month, and that includes shipping.
For our listeners, go to kiwico.com/coffee to get your first month free. Every day counts when it comes to making a difference, so don't miss out on this amazing opportunity.
Again, go to kiwico.com/coffee and get your first month free. That's kiwico.com/coffee. Can I tell you about Will getting a new truck and Jackson crying?
He cried because he got a new truck?
Yes. So Will's been looking at new trucks for like over a year. And he actually drove the last truck that he had literally like 11 or 12 years, which is insane. Like he drove it for a very long time. And that's the truck that we brought Jackson home from the hospital in, and just like a lot of memories in that truck. So literally like our first date, like so much. So when we went to take the truck to drop it off to pick up the new truck, Jackson was like bawling in the back seat, and he was like, we shouldn't be leaving our truck. He like acted like it was like part of our family, and he was just like really upset about it. And I want to know if other people feel like their kids have a bond with their vehicles, because Jackson definitely had a bond with Will's truck. And then I told a neighbor about this story, and they told me they had heard about this too, that they had a friend that told them a similar story as well. So I don't know, it's like very weird. Like obviously it's sad, like your memories and stuff like that. And Jackson's like, if I see that truck on the road, I'm going to tell the people that they stole that car from us.
Oh, I mean, that's good though, because he's had that stability his whole life. Like that's the only, you know what I mean? Like it's not like things are constantly changing. Now, does he have that same like bond with any of your cars?
No, but that's because I just change cars. Like I'm more of a boy than Will is, you know? So I don't really associate like emotion with stuff like that. So, but Will definitely does. Like with our old house too, the day that we closed on that house, right before we closed on the one that we're in, he literally sat in the driveway and like bawled in his truck before we left the house. And
Will did, or Jackson did?
Will did. And I mean, obviously, yeah, like that's where we brought Jackson home to, and it was our first home as a married couple. I mean, obviously you're going to hold memories there, but my memories are like from photographs, and like I would be devastated if something ever happened to my photographs. But as far as like a house or a car or something like that, I don't really attach emotion to that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I feel like I have really weird emotions towards my childhood. Like there's like people and like things from my childhood that I just cannot let go, and they still make me emotional to this day about. Mm-hmm. But like as far as like my very first apartment or like my very first house as an adult, like I have absolutely no attachment. Like I don't, it's like, oh wow, remember the time that me and Isaac moved in, and you know what I mean? Like, but like I can talk about it, but I don't feel like an emotional, like, oh my God, I'm going to cry. It's like, oh, I remember when I lived there and this happened, or I remember, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just not like, but
I feel like that too.
We've talked about this before on the podcast. Like I'm not attached to like some parents save like every single item of their kids from the time they're born till the time they're an adult. Like my mom, if she saved anything, she didn't ever give it to me or let me see it. So like I have no like I don't give a fuck if my mom has my baby teeth. I don't give a fuck if my mom has my first haircut. You know what I mean? Like I'm not attached to those things. So I don't know.
Yeah, see, now I am a saver of like things.
All the things
that associate with Jackson. I save like everything, like all the school papers, and I'm like a crazy person. I'm like, oh, I might need to know how he wrote an A like when he's like 35 years old. I need to know how he wrote an A when he was in kindergarten. Like probably not, but I still save the stuff. But I just want to know, like, for listeners, do you associate like emotional feeling with vehicles or your home, and things like that? Because I feel like as long as I have the photographic memories, that it doesn't, the actual like physical thing doesn't bother me if I have it or if I don't.
Right.
So,
that's
and
fair.
I
Yeah,
think,
let us know.
I think you're the same. That's one thing that we're the same. Okay. So I text Kail last week. I had been on the hunt for white bags for Jackson's class, like white lunch sacks. And I know I had bought them like 2 years ago at the regular grocery store for something else for school. And then I went around like all of the grocery stores, all of the drug stores, like Walmart, Target, all of the places searching for these white lunch bags. And finally, the last place I checked was Target, and they didn't have it. And so I asked the guy that was like the stalker there, I said, do you know why they do not have white lunch bags at any store? And he said, well, I know specifically Target took them off their shelf because of the amount of bleach that goes into bleaching the bags. So it's not an item that they carry in store anymore for like this eco-friendly approach or whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't really make sense to me because it's still a paper bag. And whether it has bleach on it or not, I still would think it would be better than like a plastic bag. But here they are, you know, but not going to argue, whatever. So I tell Will, I'm like, hey, can you go on Amazon and order these bags? Can't find them anywhere locally. Probably should have just got them off Amazon in the first place. So I think nothing more of it. He goes on Amazon, orders the bags. I get home one day after school, open up the mailbox. There is a package. It is the bags, but it seemed very small. So I come home, open the bag, and it is freaking white, tiny craft bags.
Like little, I don't even know what you would put in those.
You would put like, okay, if you've ever seen like on Halloween or like at a wedding or something where there's like bags that have like tea candles in them to like line a walkway, or maybe it might be enough to put like a single cookie, like what you would get from like a bakery, like really like little, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
So that's how small they were. So I sent him a picture of them. And I was like, are you kidding me? And he was like, what the fuck, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, I'm serious. Like, did you not check like if these were craft bags or like actual lunch bags? So long story short, we reordered them and it's all sorted out. But I thought it was funny whenever I opened the thing and I'm like, that would only happen to me, and Will, you're canceled.
A for effort. He got an A for effort.
Will gets an F for effort.
He does not. Hey guys, I know that you guys are not living under a rock. So you guys have been hearing a ton about CBD and what the benefits are. And some of it may be confusing.
Right. For example, I know, Kail, that you know that CBD is legal in all 50 states, but a lot of people don't.
So there's a company called Hemp Fusion. They make high quality CBD products with omegas, which help with stress, sleep, and energy. The ingredients help balance your body and keep you feeling good. And I love all things CBD.
Of course you do. Actually, I have been using the liquid 20 milligram full spectrum CBD, and I've used it before bed for the past 2 weeks, and it literally is amazing. So if you guys would like to try it, please use promo code Coffee Convos for 20% off of your first order and free shipping at hempfusion.com. That's promo code Coffee Convos. Get Hemp Fusion shipped anywhere in the US. Another thing about school. So Jackson, I don't know if you do this or not, but when I pack his lunch, do your kids eat school lunch or do you pack?
It depends on the day. We do both.
Okay, so Jackson eats school lunch on Thursdays because that's nacho day. So he likes to get nachos with just cheese on them. I don't know. Don't even ask. I thought they were like loaded nachos. Apparently, he goes and tells the lunch lady he only likes cheese. Just found this out last week. So he eats lunch at school on Thursdays, but every other day we pack, and I write him like a little note and stick it in his lunchbox. And then there's like a zipper pouch on the bottom of his lunch bag that I've never used. So like I never opened it. And so I went to clean his lunchbox out, and half of the zipper was like a little opened. So I went and opened it all the way, and I was just like rinsing everything out. So when I did, there was a bunch of like napkins that like fell out. And I was like, what is this? And it had like mold on them. And
Ew.
I'm like, okay, obviously like this has been down here for a while, and I never opened it because I never put anything in it. So Jackson was sitting at the counter when this was going on, and he starts crying. He's like, Mom, all of my notes that you wrote me. And it's like, he was so upset, but evidently he had been collecting like all of the notes that I wrote him, like his napkins, and putting them in the bottom of there and like storing them. And then I guess over time, as I clean his lunchbox, maybe a little water gets down there. So then like it starts making the things like mold. So big ordeal in my house, Kail. It was a big, big deal. And I was like, okay, you're going to have to start recollecting. And now I know that you collect them down there. I know it's your hiding spot. And I'm so sorry that I like wrecked your whole life. Now everything's ruined. But now it's fine. Obviously, Jackson is like very sentimental person.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that.
Like, do you write your kids notes in their lunchbox, or are you like, F that?
I never did. No.
You're like, nope, not a thing. So anything else going on in your life other than that you're still filming?
I saw The Joker. I went to a haunted asylum.
Okay, tell me all of this.
Okay. So first went to go see the movie The Joker, which I am not actually a Batman fan. I have like personal issues with it because of personal experience with significant other at the time. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I would say that The Joker overall, the movie itself was just like what? I don't know. Like, it was just like very, like, you get the whole gist of like where the Joker started and stuff. And that part was cool. But I feel like the main actor played a really good role. Like, he was so good. But the movie itself was just kind of like womp womp. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, played his fucking part. So that was cool. And then I went to a haunted asylum. If you haven't heard of Penhurst Asylum, this was a state school / hospital for the mentally ill and handicapped back in like the 1900s. It was open for 79 years, and then it closed because of maltreatment of the patients. And I think they were like beaten and abused and all of these things, and it was shut down. And the place is really fucking creepy, but it's huge. Like, it's literally bigger than a college campus, and it's in Pennsylvania, where I'm from. And they just left it abandoned. Like, they never, like, number one, I want to know how much the government paid to have this fucking campus built, and then for them to just never use it again. Like, they never reused it for a college. They never reused it for a different type of hospital. They never reused it for anything. It just like went to shit. And now they have like haunted attractions there. They do like the haunted asylum for Halloween, and I think you can go there to like actually ghost hunt like throughout the year and do like a tour, which I'm interested in doing because it's just like so fucking intriguing to know like what went on behind these walls. And I guess like orphan children went there, and then like just like a lot of stuff went on. But I feel like when you go on the website, it's like #1 attraction in the United States. And then I went and it was like, this is trash because they had so many actors and so many props that it like wasn't scary. You know what I mean?
See, like, okay, I have a weird thing about places like that because everybody knows that I like Halloween, but I like it for the dressing up aspect, like the very like innocent side of Halloween and not like the creepy side of Halloween. I don't like spooky, like satanic, like weird stuff. But a place like that, I'm interested in places like that, but more like on a history level and not like don't try to scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, I mean, I went just because like my friends wanted to go, but I'm more in like now I just want to see if there's a documentary on it. I want to know more about the place. I want to know why it wasn't reused. I want to know like what went on behind the wall. Like I want to know all of that stuff. I don't care to like do the haunted attraction. Same for like now I don't want to go to the state penitentiary haunted attraction because I feel like it's going to be the same thing. Like I want to know the history of it and why it wasn't reused and like why it was closed down and like all of that stuff. I am completely like turned off about
more of like the facts and like the history of the actual place and what happened versus we're trying to make this like super scary. And I feel like it takes away from like the actual story. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I absolutely do. And I don't think I felt that way until I experienced the haunted attraction. So like now I just want to know all the things that went on. It's like, tell me about the actual history of the building.
Well, and then I have this weird thing too that I feel like when you try to make entertainment out of something that could have been morbid and like history, that there's like a fine line there too of being distasteful and being disrespectful in a sense, because I mean, I don't know if anybody would still be living like family members or anything like that of people that were actually there.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's when I was doing the research after the fact, because I didn't know it was like a real asylum. Like I thought it was just a haunted attraction. Right. So once I got there and I realized, oh wow, this is an entire, like literally it could have been like a little town with how big it is. If you Google it and you see the pictures, you're like, oh my gosh, like these are huge, beautiful buildings made of stone, like huge. And it wasn't until I started looking it up and it actually said that it's controversial because people actually really suffered there, and to then make a mockery of it for like Halloween. So then I felt bad. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking up the research now and I hope maybe on Netflix or on YouTube or something, there's some type of
documentary or something. Yeah.
Because I mean, like you guys know, I'm from Pennsylvania, so knowing that it's there and it's literally within an hour of me, I want to go do like the actual tour and like learn about it, not the bullshit.
Yeah. Like, I was talking to a friend the other day and she was talking about how Halloween can be like really challenging for some people, especially like children who have suffered loss in their life, because they see like skeletons and they're trying to like process all of these things like in their mind of loss that they've experienced. And they see like all of this scary stuff and like RIP signs and stuff like that. And it just put like a lot of things into perspective for me. I know that we talked about it on the podcast last year, this time, of, you know, letting kids dress up and, you know, participate. And I just don't like the scary side of Halloween and like the morbid things. I just like, you know, to like dress up something fun, like a superhero or whatever, and like get candy, but we don't really take it any further than that.
Right.
But yeah, I'm definitely with you on, you know, more of like the history side of things and not, you know, trying to like make like fake blood and like have actors and like weird stuff. Cause I feel like it can be taken as offensive to people who would have actually been at a place like that.
Right.
So tell me, like, you went, then you left. Were you just kind of like, I want to know more? Or were you just like, that was a bust?
It just like wasn't scary. I think if they were going to do something scary there, they would have had a better experience if they've had less props and less actors. Because like I said, the place is so creepy by itself. Just that eerie feeling that you know something and things went on here. So I was just kind of like disappointed. But yeah, I want to know more. I want to go back just to visit, like get the actual tour of like the history and like what it looks like in daylight. Cause you literally couldn't see anything but the actors or props. Truthfully, I know this is going to sound really fucking nuts, but we all know I'm crazy. Since I'm from Pennsylvania, I'm wondering, like, does my family have any type of like relation to anyone that went there or that worked there or that knows about, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know that sounds really crazy, but it's just so close to home that I just wonder, like, I don't know. Like, my whole family is like from Pennsylvania. Like, my mom's side is like their roots and their roots and their roots are all there. So it's like, I just want to know
if like anybody would have like any information about it.
Yes. I know I sound crazy. So I don't know about you guys, but sometimes for me, getting a workout in can seem impossible, and I don't even know what workouts to do for what targeted areas.
Absolutely. I used to stress about that because being a working mama, it's hard to create a personalized plan. But then I discovered Noom. No more hunting for training apps or workouts or calorie trackers and meal plans. One thing that I love about Noom is that Noom creates long-term results through healthy habit and behavior changes and not restrictive dieting, because that doesn't really work for me. And I don't think it works for a lot of people. And one great thing that I saw on their website was that 78% of Noom users sustained weight loss over 9 months in a 2016 study that they did, which is absolutely great.
I think what helps make it work is that they help you stay on track and control bad habits. I didn't think I would be able to stick to it, but the app is so helpful and it's really easy to navigate. You can also talk to goal specialists and Noom members so you can feel real and supportive, and there's like a community there.
Noom is a habit-changing solution that helps users learn to develop new relationships with food through personalized courses. Based in psychology, Noom teaches you why you do the things that you do and arms you with the tools to break the bad habits to replace them with better ones.
So we're all strapped for time, but Noom just takes you 10 minutes to commit every day. So that's for yourself, and everybody needs to do something for themselves.
You don't have to change it all in one day. Small steps make big progress. Sign up for your trial today at Noom, Noom.com/coffee.
What do you have to lose? Visit Noom.com/coffee to start your trial today. That's Noom.com/coffee, the last weight loss program you'll ever need. So I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw on the Shade Room that Forever 21 is or has filed for bankruptcy. And, I always wondered how I used to love fashion, not Fashion Nova. I used to love Forever 21, and then I do still buy from Fashion Nova. But, I mean, the quality of their clothes is not great, but they are very affordable. Like, if you're only looking to get something to wear it a couple times. I always wondered how those stores make money. I mean, Fashion Nova doesn't have like a storefront that I know of, so I could see how they make money since it's online. But how do stores like that even make money to begin with when they're literally not selling the clothes for any, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. And I mean, I feel like the production would have to be so high, and they have so much variety of things. Like, if you've ever been into a Forever 21, and I don't know if they're all huge, but the ones that are around me, like in Atlanta, are really huge stores. And so the amount of inventory that they have in the store, and I mean, literally when I tell you they might have thousands of different shirt options, like, I just don't see how they are making money. Maybe it's because the quality is so low that it costs them hardly anything to produce it. I don't know.
I read that they have over 800 stores too. So I'm like, well, are they going to turn this? Are they filing from bankruptcy and then closing stores? And then are they going to remain open online? That was something I didn't actually read about. I don't know if that's what they're going to do. But I guess I'm shocked. And also the amount of lawsuits against Forever 21 that I've seen, like, I know Ariana Grande was suing them. Rihanna has sued them in the past, like for like millions and millions of dollars. Like, how does that happen and you're still in business?
I don't really know, honestly, but one thing that I thought of with the Forever 21 thing was that when Forever 21 came about, I found out about it like in college. So I feel like a lot of girls have been able to be more fashionable because people who maybe wouldn't have had access to money, you know, for stores like Nordstrom or Neiman's or Bloomingdale's and places like that are very expensive, and would be considered like not affordable. Girls were able to go to Forever 21 and be able to pull off similar looks at a very low price. And now, like, what's going to happen to those people with their fashion?
I guess Fashion Nova is taking over.
Like, that depends on Forever 21. Like, you're going to have to find a new gig because Forever 21's up.
Yeah. I mean, I have where I'm at now at my new house. They don't have, like, I don't have a mall nearby. I guess either mall that you go to is within 30 minutes ish. And where I lived before, it was like a really low budget, like they call it the Dover Mall. It's like really little. There, I guess, like if you were to go shopping in there, like that was the only real store I feel like that people would shop at for clothes was Forever 21.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, it's definitely was a great place. Like you said, if you're going there to find something to wear like once or twice, just, you know, like something to have something new, options. But as far as like going and getting something quality, that's definitely not the place.
Right.
What else you
Agreed. Let's see. I mean, I also saw online that they were talking about Trump getting impeached.
I saw that too. And I haven't followed it like super, super closely. I will say that I had retweeted something about Hillary Clinton on Twitter, and it was just like this little clip of her. And it was an interview, and she said that the gutsiest decision that she ever made in her personal life was to stay in her marriage and personally make the decision to publicly and politically run for president. So I had retweeted that because I felt like it was relatable. And a lot of people had sent me like tweets saying, should have known, you know, like you would support Hillary, and then sent me like these mean Instagram
Why should they have known
messages.
that?
Like,
what does that even mean?
I don't even know, but it was like mean Instagram messages saying that like they can't support me because I don't support Trump. And
okay, I'm going to stop you right there. I do not understand how people will literally stop being friends with or stop communicating with their family over their political views.
That's crazy.
I do not understand that. I do not understand that.
And to be honest, like it wasn't even about the candidate or the fact that she had ran for president. It was just the fact of, I felt like what she had said was very relatable. I do feel like it was gutsy for her to run for president as a woman. And I do feel like it was gutsy of her to choose to stay in her marriage because the easy thing to do is to walk away. So
right.
For me, I related, and that was all there was to it. And I think a lot of people read way more into Twitter and read way more into things that are posted than what was intended. It was just something that was relatable to me. And I agree. I think that, you know, people who lose friendship over political views, I think that those are immature people, because if you can't respect and accept somebody for them feeling like they have different views. Like, for example, somebody had sent messages about how they couldn't believe that you and I could be friends because you didn't believe in God and that I did, and that, you know, you believed in all this other stuff and I didn't, and so on and so forth.
But how do you... That's the problem, though. Those same fucking people are the reason why we have the problems that we have in society, because they're the people. That's like saying, well, I don't know how you could be friends with someone because they're black. I don't know how you could be friends with someone because they put their kids to bed at 8:30 instead of 7:30. I don't know how you could be friends with those people because they're fucking Jews. Like, what are you saying? That's what those people are, the problem with society. I would never judge someone based on who the fuck they vote for or what they do in their personal life. Now,
Right.
if you go out and you're committing crimes and you go out and you're a horrible fucking person, then I'm going to remove myself. But those are the people, they can't even acknowledge or understand the fact that they are the problem with society.
I just don't understand and can't wrap my head around the fact of what would make somebody think that they are entitled to send people messages being like, to question somebody else's friendships or relationships or whatever based off of beliefs that we have. How does that define a friendship? Because we believe something different.
Because our friendship is not based on the fact that we both believe that we do or do not believe in God. That's like, okay, you might have friends that you go to church with and that your relationship is centered around that. My relationship with you is not centered around that. I have other friends who we bond off of the fact that we read the same type of books. Like, how does anyone expect to have a unified and like peaceful type of society and country if you're judging people based on what they believe in? Aren't you supposed to accept all types of people and all types of beliefs? Or maybe if it makes you upset and you can't be friends with someone because of their certain beliefs, maybe don't talk about those certain topics, or maybe do, so that they can enlighten you and broaden your horizons. Because honestly, that's so ignorant.
It is so ignorant. And I feel like it's so judgmental, and I don't even know that the people that are sending these types of messages and leaving these types of comments are even really realizing maybe that they are the problem.
They will never understand that they are the problem. They'll never get it.
It's like a narcissist, like they think that they know everything, and they think that, don't even get me started.
All right, guys, I don't know about you, but with a busy schedule, I love having meals that are already planned out for me and I don't have to go to the store.
Me too. It takes the stress of a long day where the last thing you want to think of is what you have to make for everyone.
And that's why we love HelloFresh.
It's so nice that I can still make my family home-cooked meals, but I don't have to worry about making a grocery list or having to order takeout. They deliver all the ingredients to your door so you can make homemade meals for your family.
And there's something for everyone. I personally love the prosciutto, fig, and Gouda sandwich. It comes with balsamic mixed greens as well, and it's so good.
And it's great to also have the option to add extra meals and add-ons like garlic bread or cookie dough for a dessert. And HelloFresh has more 5-star recipes than any other meal kit, so you'll be getting something delicious.
It's super easy to change your delivery days, food preferences, or skip a week whenever you need.
For $80 off your first month of HelloFresh, go to hellofresh.com/coffeeconvos80 and enter coffeeconvos80.
It's like receiving 8 meals for free. Again, for $80 off your first month of HelloFresh, go to hellofresh.com/coffeeconvos80 and enter coffeeconvos80.
So I wanted to talk about how I went to the state fair. And
I saw the pictures. They were so cute.
Well, thanks. I went to the state fair, and parking, going to places like that is always so difficult because you can never find parking at the same place that your friends or somebody that you're meeting there. You're always parking in different lots, and then you're having to meet up with each other. So Will got there before me and I parked after him. So we parked in completely different lots and we were trying to find each other. And I stood somewhere and I was waiting on him. And as he was approaching me, I looked down and there was a used condom on the ground.
No.
And I was like, what is this? Exactly. At that point, I was
That's so gross.
Should we be going here? Or what exactly is going on? I mean, it was in the middle of a parking lot.
I mean, I've definitely had sex in a parking lot in a car, but I'm not throwing a used condom out the window. That's never happening.
Is that weird?
That's disgusting. That's unsanitary. That's where kids go. That's
what I felt like. I was but then the weird thing is that I felt at the fair, there was less children there and more grown adults. Obviously I saw children, but it was seemed like a hangout where maybe high schoolers could go at night. I don't know. It didn't seem like a ton of little kids of what I would expect, if that makes sense.
We had a state fair and we have one in August, I guess Delaware's is. And I have only been, I think, once or twice since I lived in Delaware, and I've been here for almost 6 years.
Do you take the kids?
Yeah, when I went, we took the kids both times.
And did they have fun?
Yeah, but we went during the day. It was like more during, I think by time we left the second time, by time we left, it was nighttime because we spent like it's expensive. They're expensive to get into. And then like the rides, the food, all of that. So I think we like made a day of it. The last time I went was when I was pregnant with Lux. So that was, he just turned 2. So, because it's expensive and I don't really trust the rides there that much. Like, I feel like I don't know. It's not like an amusement park where they're stationary and they get serviced regularly. Like, I don't know what the servicing looks like to like carnival and like fair rides. You know what I mean?
I know. And if they have like the same type of regulation as like what, like a Disney World,
an amusement park. Right. Exactly.
Something like that. Yeah, I know. Honestly,
but my kids do love to go play games. Like they love to play games. I think they would prefer at a fair. They would prefer to play games over rides. Anyway.
Yeah. Like the, shooting water games and like stuff like that. Jackson loves to play stuff like that. But as far as the rides, I'm terrified.
We actually, I think the first time I ever went was like 3 years ago, and somehow we ended up with 7 fish.
No. What happened?
Yeah, and they lived. They lived for over a year. Yeah. And then like at one point I just had like one left, like one goldfish left. And it was in this like 20 or 30 gallon tank. And I was just like, I'm not balancing this pH anymore.
So what happened? He died?
He went to another home.
Okay. So he went to another home. I'm not going to question where that home is.
He didn't die. I just put him somewhere else.
You put him somewhere else. Hopefully the kids aren't listening to this. They're probably like wondering where that single fish went. It was special to them. It was very special.
It was very special to them.
Can we talk about this week? I have like a major task list of things to do. And I know one of the things that are on there is going to be actually 2 of the things on there. They're going to be very time consuming. The first one is going through my phone library. And
what the fuck does that mean?
Like going through like my picture library or like my camera roll or whatever it's called.
Okay.
To like delete pictures off of there. Like it's like weird stuff that's probably on there. Like pictures of like somebody or like people asking you what you're doing. And then you like take a picture of cooking because you don't want to type it out. And then you send it and then that picture's on your library.
You know what's really crazy is like if anyone went through my camera roll, I would be embarrassed because I have the weirdest shit on my phone. Like I screenshot the weirdest fucking shit, and they might put me in Pennhurst Asylum because they want to know why the fuck I have certain things screenshotted. Like, why did I screenshot this picture of someone else's family that I came across from 1987 and we don't really know who's in the picture, but it was interesting to me, so I screenshot it in the event that I may send it to a friend because it may relate to something that we're talking about. Never.
And then by the time it would relate, it's so far up your camera roll that you don't even know where it was.
I wouldn't be able to find it.
That you wouldn't be able to find it. Okay, so exactly,
yes.
Like you get me. We're on the same wavelength. So I
100%
also screenshot really weird stuff. And like all of these, like, okay, if my phone ever got taken, they would also put me in an asylum because I have all of these like screenshots of like murder stories and like crazy stuff on my phone so that I'll remember to like talk about it. And then I don't delete it off. So I literally have so many photos and screenshots of stuff that it's starting to give me anxiety, the amount of stuff that I have on my phone. Like I have 17,000 photos in my album. And just to give you guys an idea, I have over 4,000 screenshots of God knows what. Like I have no idea. So I am going to make it a priority this week to go through all of that stuff and delete off things that I don't need, and then to categorize my photos so that I can make like little books. There's like where you can go online and like make little books of like memory books that I can take the photos off, put them on a memory book. So I know I have them forever. It's in hard copy. And then I can get them off of my phone and not have to have the anxiety of knowing that there's like weird shit in my camera roll. Like if honestly, I died, if one of us died and somebody saw what was in our camera roll, could you imagine?
No, I told Kristen if anything ever happens to me, I need her to completely destroy my phone and my laptop. I said, if anything happens to me, I need you to go destroy every fucking thing. I want you to destroy my phone, destroy my laptop, and never look back.
Destroy my entire life, everything that I've ever done.
My electronic life.
Destroy
but let me know my entire electronic life. But also get me. I told her if anything ever happens to me, like, wow, I'm a psycho. Like people are gonna like probably admit me to a ward. I said if anything ever happens to me, I want an hour special on the ID channel.
Kail.
Like I deserve that. I feel like
that's how you want to go out. Like I can't.
If that happens to me, I want a 2020 special. But no, the day that you clean out your camera roll, I need you to let me know because that way I'm going to do it the same day. So that way we're not texting each other while we're trying to do it. Because honestly, when you're trying to go through your camera roll and people are texting you and you have shit going on, it gets really annoying. So when you do it, I'm going to do it that day too.
Yeah, because you get distracted. You know what I mean? Like I've tried to do it before and I know exactly what you're saying because then it's like, okay, somebody texts me, so I need to answer that. Then I go back, then I'm all the way back at the bottom. Then I forget where I was. So it's like, It's literally a black hole. And I want everybody who's listening to tell us if you are in this same camera roll screenshot predicament that you need to like go and clear out your crazy life that you have created on your cellular device because it's really terrifying, you guys. Like it really is scary. In other news though, I got a huge response from just posting in my story about like ideas that I did for Community Helper Day for Jackson's school. And then I post like a fall nail color that I got and like a teacher gift idea I think I did last week. And I got tons of messages for stuff like that. So if you guys like seeing stuff like that, Kail and I are going through like a revamping stage on Coffee Combos. And so starting in November, things are going to be changing over there. We're going to be posting like different things other than just, episode releases. And we want to know what you guys want to see like on the story. Like, does nail colors interest you? Does ideas for teacher gifts, like community helper snacks, like stuff like that. If that interests you, then please go on iTunes and leave a review and just put your interest and like what you want to see on the Instagram page, what you want to hear about more on the podcast, so that when we start our new year, that we are fully organized and focused on what you guys want to hear about.
Yes, 100%.
Do you ever feel like you get overwhelmed on days where you're like, okay, I need to go to the gym. I need to get my car washed. I need to pay my bills. I need to do like all of those things. Do you ever feel that way?
Yeah, but I haven't been to a gym in months.
In a month or in months?
No, in months.
Oh, Lord. What you been doing? It's been
nothing. I just can't seem to get a routine together to set aside time to go to the gym. And every time I get the opportunity, something else comes up. Like I said, I thought I was done filming last week and I'm not. So just all the things happening, but I'm going to get back to it. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to have next year I turn 28 and my motto for that is 28 and losing weight. So I'm planning on losing weight, soon. Just not yet.
Just not yet. I'm not there yet. Mentally, I have not
prepared myself.
Boarded that train. Well, it's hard because I feel like I'll be thinking about, I get overwhelmed thinking about my list. Like before I even start doing it, you know, I'm like, oh, I've got like all this crap to do. And I feel like I have such a limited time to do it, but really I don't really have a limited time of doing it because I just basically said I don't have anything to do. So basically I'm full of shit. So
right.
I just need to do all of the things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There was something that I saw on Instagram that really resonated with me yesterday. And it was just a quote. And it said, Mama, you can have goals unrelated to motherhood. And I felt like that was so relatable.
Yeah, people need to hear that. Maybe you should say it louder for the people in the back.
Yep. Because I feel like moms are judged so hard if you're doing something like while also being a mother. Does that make sense?
Yes. We've talked about that before.
It's so hard. It's like, yes, I'm a mother 24/7, you know, 100%. Like that's my main focus. But also there's other things that you have to do to fulfill yourself as a human being. And, you know, being a mother is definitely of highest importance to me. But also, you know, like having an identity within myself because, you know, they say like when your kids are grown, like don't only invest in your kids, invest in your relationships because when your kids are gone and they're in college and, you know, like they're doing their own life, you're not thinking about what mom and dad are doing at home. They're thinking about what kegger they're going to next. Like they don't give a shit what you're doing. So,
right.
You know, like you need things to fulfill yourself. And I feel like I'm on that journey right now. And it's hard sometimes because I'll catch myself like judging my own self, being like, oh, well, you know, this needs to be more important and you don't need to do this because you're a mom or you don't need to do, you know, like, I don't know. I feel like it's so hard. And I feel like a lot of moms struggle with that. And I just wanted to say, if you are struggling with that, you're not alone. I go through it. I know that Kail goes through it. I know that we're all going through it. And there is more to, you know, being a woman and a mom. There, you know, you can be a business owner. You can be somebody who owns like 19 businesses like Kail wants to do and be a mom and like be good at it. So that was just something that I saw and I was like, wow, that really spoke to me. You know, it was special to me.
It was very special to you.
Very special to me. Wow, it's literally already been an hour.
Can you believe that?
No, I can't. And I have like 6 more updates, but we don't have time.
Okay, well then we don't have time.
We don't have time, but the 6 more updates will come next week. And I hope that Instagram doesn't hear about those 6 updates before the podcast hears about it. But if it does, I will clarify those updates on next week's episode. So thank you guys for listening. If you have not subscribed to us, you can do that by searching the Purple Podcast app on your iPhone, type in Coffee Convos, click subscribe so that you get the updates every week and click the 5th star. You can leave us a written review. We're also available now on Pandora. I hope you guys have a great week and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.